Right, delighted to say we're joined live from Sydney now by Sam Curran, although he'll be in Sri Lanka by the time this interview is broadcast. Sam, you've a lot to talk about. Let's start with your appointment as captain of MI London. We're still coming to terms with that name. It's not something that's new to you. You just captained the Desert Vipers to their inaugural ILT20 title. So I'm excited, I would imagine, taking over from Sam Billings at MI London.
Yeah, I think obviously lots of change happening in the hundred, so that's obviously good. Everyone's going to have their pros and cons about it, I guess, but it's very exciting. I think, especially for me as a Surrey player, to still have that link with the Oval. Had 5 very successful years with the Oval Invincibles, and I guess with Sam Billings as our captain, he obviously did an amazing job. But I guess it's great that the London team and MI have, I guess, linked the. We've managed to keep Will Jacks as well, who's obviously a Surrey player, and you got Danny Wyatt as well, who's, I guess, another Surrey women's player. So I think that connection was really important when I kind of spoke to Stewie, or I guess Ollie Slipper and the Mumbai people. Is I said I did want to make sure that we keep that Surrey connection there, and I feel really proud to be able to captain, and I think you guys will be. I can't really say, but you'll be excited by our two overseas signings that do come.
Right, Dubai, Sydney, Colombo, and there's probably a few stops along the way. I have to ask you, Sam, do you get to keep your air miles or does the travel agent get them?
No, thankfully, I do keep my air miles, so they've been topped up quite a bit in the last 3 or 4 months. But I guess it's much better than being in that cold indoor school and things like that back home. So I'm not complaining.
Sam, you talk about obviously going to England. The white ball team's captained by Harry Brook, but how valuable is it that you've got captaincy experience in there? Joss was captain for the England team before. There's many of your players who have played in franchise tournaments around the world who are captains, and is especially when you go into like the pressure situations of a World T20 and the subcontinent where it can be noisy, it can be hot, it could be a bit more fast forward than usual. So your captaincy experience, how valuable is that with the experiences you've got in the teams?
Yeah, I guess it's not going to do any harm. I guess I know Brookie pretty well. It was my first experience playing under him recently in New Zealand when we were there. It was quite I guess we rained off mostly in those T20, so we didn't really play hugely as a T20 group. But he's obviously hugely experienced, high class player. You mentioned Joss as well. There's quite a few guys who were involved in that T20 World Cup we won in Australia, and then I guess in the West Indies when we played under Just. So I think India is going to be a huge challenge. I think going to Sri Lanka before is obviously couldn't be any better prep. I guess part of the World Cup's also going to be there. So I guess getting used to that heat, the love for cricket in those nations is huge. So the fans, the noise, like you said. It's going to be huge, and I've played a lot of cricket in India, so having that experience is going to be key. Like I think most of our group has got a lot of experience. We play so much in India, so I think obviously I feel fairly experienced within that side. I think the squad that's been selected is obviously it's actually quite a young group, which is quite exciting. There's a lot of guys I played age group cricket with, and then you add the likes of Joss and I guess Joffre and from the top of my head, those are the guys I can think who are a bit more experienced. And Adil Rashid, obviously, who's one of the best spinners in the world. So I think we got a really exciting group, and I think being in a World Cup, anything can happen. But I think the fact that we got some nice preparation is going to be really good.
Amazing record in ODI cricket England had last year. 4 wins out of 15 ODIs. It's the leanest year well, I think since ODIs began. And yet, the T20 team is doing very well. Won 7 out of 8 completed games. Well, why has ODI cricket fallen off the back of the England bus?
Yeah, I think it's 50 over cricket. It's no secret that we're not playing loads of it. I think no one's really playing huge amounts of 50 over cricket. I guess it's a format we struggled with last year. But I think I think the biggest challenge now is going to be showing that consistency that's been shown in T20 and 50 over cricket. I think I played the 3 games in New Zealand when we were there when I was first time back in the group for a while. We lost a couple of tosses on some green ones, and we're probably 20 runs below par each game, and we actually bowled extremely well in that series. So I guess it's such a different format. Everyone says it's still close to T20, but it's not. It's very different. It's a longer version, and I think we play three now. First before the T20s in Sri Lanka, so I guess it's a new year, and we can be positive and say it's a new start, and we go again.
And then you say it's a new year and you start again, but you've got experience from the last when England won the T20 World Cup out in Australia. There's you, Joss, Brookie, Phil Salt, Adil Rashid. I think that's 5 years from that tournament. What are you expecting this time from this tournament? Because the pitches will be different. Obviously, stadiums are a little bit different. What skill sets do you need to sort of have a chance of winning at this time?
Yeah, I guess tournament cricket's really exciting. I think our group, we've obviously got a couple of teams we never really play against as well to start, and then you had, I guess, the West Indies are such a powerful side. I think you just got to get used to the pressures and the wickets in India. We played two in Mumbai, I think, to start, and then I guess Kolkata as well for the group stage. So two iconic venues, and you'd expect them to be pretty decent wickets as well. So I think the group stage is really important to get the role clarity of play. I guess your role in the team, I think you mentioned earlier, the fans, the love for cricket in India is huge. We're going to be in Sri Lanka now for 10 days before, I guess, the World Cup, and we get used to that heat, the conditions, and just being around each other. It's been a while since obviously with the Ashes being on, we haven't been around as a group. In places like India, you spend a lot of time together in the hotels and things like that. So I'm really excited. I've obviously experienced, like you said, a World Cup win, and there was no better feeling. So we know it's going to be tough, but I'm extremely excited, and these are the moments, I guess, we play all these tournaments, and that's the reason why again someone like me's come to the Big Bash. There's a lot of guys playing all around the world. You don't want to be almost undercooked going into these tournaments. So I'm feeling really good and really excited to join up with the guys, I guess.
At the risk of boring you, to ask you a question you've been asked 100 times, so many people have said over the years that that you need a clearer role definition. And Harmy and I have said for years, well, if you've got a bloke that is adaptable and that can do 6 different jobs, then use him in those jobs when it suits him. But have you spoken to Harry? I mean, have you discussed role definition? Is that something that you are leaning towards more
Yeah,
these days?
to be fair, as weird you brought that up. That question went quiet, which I was quite enjoying. No one was asking me, but no, I haven't really. But I think it was pretty clear when I joined back with England for this New Zealand series recently. I batted in the kind of top six and bowled in all the phases. So I think it's pretty obvious what I want to do, and I think the team know they can get the best out of me by that role, whether that's, I guess, going up and into the power play or certain matchups, things like that. But I guess they're all around the world, all these franchise tournaments, and I feel most comfortable there. So I'm hoping that will be my role. But if it's not, I think just that experience of being around the group as well will help. And I'm feeling in a really good spot with how things are going. And yeah, I guess hopefully we can start putting the role clarity question a bit more quieter in the next few months.
I'm not gonna put you under the microscope and ask you about the Ashes, because it's not fair, because you weren't there and weren't involved. But there's a role during the Ashes and during the India series that Ben Stokes, England captain, so valuable. England can't really do without. But the longer series that's twice now he's getting injured. He's still got sort of test aspirations, because if Ben Stokes was to come out of the team, England would need a bowler who could bat or a batter who could bowl. Now, you could move up. Somebody could move up to 6, and then that all-rounder would be possibly as the number 7. Is that something you've still got one eye on and thinking, well, if we do go down the all-rounder, we do have the all-rounder route that bats and bowls, possibly more bowl than bat in Test match cricket. That job's for me. Do you still believe that there's a role there for you in the red ball game, or have you really parked the red ball to one side and said, right, I'm just going to be a white ball cricketer?
No, not at all. I think, I guess I haven't played. Well, my last test was probably 21, 22. But I guess, yeah, I've always got those ambitions. I think with me going to the IPL for the last kind of 6 years, I've probably missed the first kind of 7, 8 championship games naturally. And then I've played the last 3, 4 years, I have played probably 3 or 4 county games each season. I still love playing it, and obviously it helps when we go back to say you're playing a really strong side as well. So I've obviously always got those ambitions, and I just feel like I'm a guy who, if you say tomorrow chuck me in a game, I'll go out and just try and do my best. I've just loved playing the game. So whatever format it is, it's just about enjoying it. And of course, no one's going to, I'm not going to say no, of course. I love playing for England. So I think, I will be honest, probably not on my mind right now in terms of like with the World Cup coming up and all these things. And I think the opportunity in the future may come up, but if it doesn't, I'm not going to, I guess, change the path I'm on right now. I would love to play more 4-day cricket, obviously, if it helped. But I guess, how you guys know me, I'm a competitive guy. If you put a ball in my hand or give me a bat, I just try and make an impact. So yeah, I think there's always going to be ambitions, but I guess who knows what the future holds.
Sam, a lot of people outside of South Africa didn't know that Hashim Amla has got a brother who played 10 years of first-class cricket himself. His nickname was the Other because, well, he was the other Amla. And there's there's Ben Curran, who I guess to some extent was the other Curran behind you and Tom, but he's on the map now. He's got a Test 100. That must have put a smile on your face.
Yeah, really pleased. We speak to him a lot, and obviously our family connection in Zimbabwe is very special. And he's obviously got 100 before me in Test and ODI cricket, which is his bragging rights for him, which is really nice. And no, I'm really pleased for him. He obviously went on a different route to me and Tom did, and the fact that he's gone back to somewhere where it's close to my family and where my dad played so many games of cricket, and you obviously spent time there in Zimbabwe, and we've still got a lot of attachment towards people there and family. So it's very special for him. And I think that 27 World Cup where Zimbabwe and South Africa host is a big target for probably all of us to try and get that current v current battle. So I guess that'll be really special, and a very nervous, I guess, watch for people in my family.
And just finally from me, Sam, I mean, I think going back to the T20 World Cup on the horizon, what is it going to take for England to win it?
I think, yeah, I think it's not easy to win. I think you need a little bit of, I think on the T20 as a format, you need your match winners, let's be honest, to stand up in those critical moments, whether that's the defending your 10 off the last over or hitting that 15 off the last over. I think we've got a very well balanced squad, I think, in terms of players that can do everything, whatever conditions. But I think it's handling the pressure in that country of obviously, and there's no question that probably India, Australia, those type of teams that are such quality sides are up there with the favourites. And I guess going to a country like India, it's such a great experience. I think if we can handle the pressure and enjoy it and kind of not treat it like any other game, but I think you've got to make sure you win those small moments on the field. And I think that this phase now where we're going to Sri Lanka is hugely important. I think having those 2 weeks as a group before, we haven't been together since October. So I think that's going to be key to get to know each other again, not know each other again, but there's role clarities and spend a bit of time and talk about opposition teams and things like that. But I'm getting goosebumps. It's such an exciting time before a World Cup. And I guess this is what I said we dream for.
So it's always a pleasure to have you on. Enjoy the last game for the Sixers and get some sleep on that plane.
I will do. Just add a few more miles.
Yes,
Cheers, guys.